there was a very recent attempt to do so, and it's one of those key discussions right now in Sri Lanka. But there were attempts from civil society and journalists alike to defeat that move, and I hope it doesn't come to pass, because that was really designed to curb and control online freedom of expression. We agree there's a lot of disinformation, there's a lot of hate, but whether this kind of dictatorial, introductions or pieces of legislation could be the answer is hugely it's a huge question, because it places the tool in the hands of any government, and governments are generally in this part of the world that's so authoritarian, to just simply crush dissent. So some there needs to be some answers, but don't necessarily think that it is necessary that we bring such draconian pieces of law. We are actually trying to take away, actually remove whatever that is existing, and all these useless old archaic pieces of law, but then we don't need new pieces to replace those. Sometimes when these regulations are used to prevent, technically, they would amount to a violation of freedom of expression and deny people the opportunity to express their views, and will be used against people that they do not like. So the dissenters would be targeted. And there are new regulations. There is a new act introduced just this year, and it's something that the civil society has been often campaigning for, and saying that we want to know how, because our political party systems, in any case, the electoral system is so opaque, and then parties do not declare their funding sources, whether there are donations, whether there are well-wishers, individuals, um, corporate contributions. So nothing, this information has never been there, but we all kind of have an understanding as who funds whom. But that information has not been there, plus the ceiling of funding. The problem is, even if you talk about things like transparent reports on Facebook, some of the it has been possible for us to check on some candidates to see what kind of online advertising they have done. But at the same time, if you think about funding disinformation management systems and teams, I don't think we'll ever be able to find that kind of information, because they will be very creative about suppressing that kind of information, even though they are there and they're physically there. In India, of course, it's like such a huge industry, as we all know, and not the government funds many of those groups, and there are books written about it, investigative reporting done on it. So when it started happening, we thought, like, how soon do you think that Sri Lanka would go that way? But in the next 2-3 years, Sri Lanka went that way. It's just that we are a small country, and you cannot be compared to the big, the kind of population and the kind of impact this kind of disinformation will have in a country like India. But we're pretty bad, and we do have groups that are organized and do this covert negative campaigning, driving disinformation to build narratives